Welcome everyone to this week's edition of WorldView. My name is Alex.
And my name is William. News of last week's bombings in Boston have been received in different ways by European countries. Most have decided to beef up security for highly publicized events. Great Britain, for example, will have heavier security for the London Marathon. Germany, on the other hand, has decided not to make any changes for the Hamburg Marathon.
Due to the tragedy in Boston, Russia is concerned about security for the Winter Olympics. They fear that similar attacks will be planned and executed there. Russian officials, however, promised to make the Olympics the safest ever.
To protest against imprisonment, inmates in the U.S.-run military prison have gone on hunger strikes. The strikes initially began when several of the prisoners say their Korans were searched for contraband. The number of strikers began with 84, but that number is increasing each day. 16 of the prisoners are being force-fed with feeding tubes, and 5 have been hospitalized.
China and the United States have had disagreements over human rights for many years. U.S. officials believe that China is too oppressive, while China believes that the United States should have stricter laws preventing discrimination against some groups, such as women. Reacting to the recent report accusing China of multiple human rights abuses, the Chinese government said that the United States has no right to judge other countries.
A new chapter in China's war on corruption has emerged. The Chinese government has arrested several anti-corruption activists. The arrests appear contrary to Premier Xi's vehement anti-corruption stance when he took office this year. This has caused many people to question if his position was only for his public image.
The cancer rate in China is rising, and citizens are concerned about the living conditions. In China, pollution is a major problem all over the country, especially water and air pollution. Citizens believe that the government should be doing more to fix this growing danger, and the government has announced that addressing pollution is a high priority.
In Afghanistan, the opium poppy production has been increasing for the past 3 years and is headed toward a record high. International efforts to wean farmers off raising the crop have had little success. Afghanistan is the largest producer of opium, the raw ingredient in heroin. Last year, they produced about 75% of the global crop.
Puerto Rico is making steps toward legalizing marijuana. This has sparked much debate about the topic in the country. The pro-legalization side believes that it would lower crime and violence, while those against legalizations are worried about health effects.
This week, several high-ranking Japanese government officials visited a shrine honoring Japanese soldiers who fought in World War II. This has resulted in protests in South Korea and China, both of which dealt with horrible treatment against both soldiers and civilians in Korea and China. It took the Japanese decades to even admit the atrocities inflicted on their neighbors during the war.
Pompeii was covered by lava and ash when Mount Vesuvius erupted in 79 CE. The ancient town was preserved so perfectly that it has been designated as one of the most historical sites in the world. Restoration of Pompeii has recently been rejuvenated with support from the government of Italy and the European Union. Gavin has our service news.
This upcoming week marks one of the last chances to get your in-school service hours. Next week, put down your screens and get outside or hang with friends and family. Also, on Wednesday, head out to Bryn's Frozen Yogurt with your coupon to help out leveling the playing field. Along with that, throughout all of next week, bring in all of your old sports equipment and place it in the bins that will be put around campus. Lastly, next Friday we have May Frolics. This will be one of your last chances to get your service hours, so sign up to work a shift. Here's David with the sports news.
There will be many Summit home games this week. On Monday, the golf team played the Westland Academy and beat them by 47 strokes. On Tuesday, there were several Summit games. The boys' tennis team suffered a loss. The girls' lacrosse team had their second loss and are now 10-2. Boys' lacrosse worked very hard and had a long-anticipated win. Finally, girls' soccer brought home a victory. Good luck to all the sports teams as they finish out their seasons. Elisa has the WorldView editorial.
Ignorant, intolerant, unsympathetic. What makes these words similar? They all have a negative meaning, and it's easy to see why. Just imagine an ignorant, intolerant, and unsympathetic person. Not a very pretty picture. Of course, here at Summit, you'll never come across someone who is intolerant, ignorant, and unsympathetic. So most of you probably don't know what someone of this underdeveloped personality acts like, right? Well, a few examples of some behaviors you might see are a blatant rudeness, complete lack of concern for others' feelings, and a general meanness, intended or not. What if I told you that the public school system is considering taking away courses that inform students about others' religions, which discourage these awful traits? Would you be bothered? Downright angry? You have a right to be. These are your friends, not just some strangers. They could grow up not knowing anything about other religions and cultures, and not understanding how to tolerate other religions. If you never learn about something, it is impossible to make your own opinion. Without this opinion, you are 70% more likely to believe anything you hear about other cultures. And let me tell you, negative images of every culture, including our own, are everywhere. But why would public schools even consider taking away these classes? The public school system is trying not to offend people by teaching these religions, but I think it is more important that students get a good education. And if the schools were to actually train the teachers who taught these religions how to teach without causing offense, there would be no need to remove the classes. To back up this argument, studies have shown that students who do not take religious classes were 40% more likely to judge others based on their religion. Taking these classes away was very detrimental to the student. While I respect the reasoning behind this argument against religious classes, it is totally unnecessary. America is about diversity. We need to embrace this because it could lead us to great places. We could become a shining nation where acceptance rules and everyone coexists peacefully. But this will never happen if the public school system cuts religious classes. Public schools want to make a decision that could negatively affect the lives of millions of children. We can't let this happen. All children deserve a solid education and a chance to learn about other cultures. It's up to us to ensure that every child gets the chance they deserve.
Now it's time for El Tiempo Aguilas.
Buenos días, amigos. Yo me llamo Wimburn.
Y yo me llamo Andrew. Bienvenidos al programa El Tiempo Aguas. Esta es el pronóstico para el fin de semana.
Viernes la temperatura alta es de 20 grados centígrados y con poco nublado. Sábado, la temperatura alta es de 16 grados centígrados y con lluvia. Domingo, la temperatura alta es 18 grados centígrados con lluvia.
Qué bien. Entonces, este fin de semana necesito nuevos pantalones, una camisa, zapatos y una chaqueta. Es todo por abril. Adios.
Chanel has this week's weather.
The weather is looking comfortable this weekend. Today we have a high of 71 and a low of 52. It will be partly cloudy with a 10% chance of rain. Saturday will have a high of 64 and a low of 54, with a few showers. Sunday will have a high of 56 and a low of 55. There will also be showers on Sunday. Our city this week is Unalaska, Alaska. The weather in Unalaska is looking chilly this weekend. Today with a high of 39 and a low of 35. Tomorrow with a high of 40 and a low of 34. And Sunday with a high of 39 and a low of 34.
So long, everyone. This is our next to last WorldView.
Thank you for joining us. Have a happy and safe weekend.